Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the third place playoff match between Samoa and Australia. Now, both of these sides would absolutely love to win this match for Australia. If they win it, it means that they will secure themselves the 2022 World Series title. Whereas for Samoa, this is the highest that they have finished in a long time. If they are able to get themselves third, as they have finished fourth in quite a few of the recent years. Now, the way that it does sit, like I mentioned, if Australia win, they get the title. But if Samoa are able to win, it means that Australia, they are out of the running. It will either be New Zealand, or sorry, not New Zealand. It will either be Fiji or South Africa who are able to get themselves over the line. But looking through at the lineup for Australia, it is Nick Maloof, Henry Hutchinson, Henry Patterson, Maurice Longbottom, Josh Turner, Dietrich Roach, and they have gone with Corey Toole. Now, initially, Corey Toole in the last match did come off the bench this week. And for this game, I should say, he is going to be in the starting lineup. Same with Maurice Longbottom. It's interesting that they've made so many changes in such a short amount of time. Matthew Gonzalez, another player not in the starting lineup for Australia. But looking through at Samoa's starting lineup, they have gone with a tough, strong side here. Va'a Pilomaliko, Yuna Sioni, Valvasa Afasua. So a few co-captains scattered throughout there. The last 5 times that these two sides have played, I should also mention, every time it has gone the way of Samoa. Is it on Sky Sport for New Zealand? It certainly is. Sky Sport 1, it's where you can catch the action for the Sevens bronze final. Milani Matavao there at number 7. Then Steve Onisai, Nueli Letufia, and Owen Nui actually gets an opportunity in the starting lineup. So not out there at the moment. They haven't got Paul Scanlon. He will instead be coming off the bench. Falaniko also an option off the bench alongside Moto Opitai, Levi Milford, and Nuali Vaya. Whereas for the Australians, Billy Meek, Stuart Dunbar, Nathan Lawson, Matthew Gonzalez, and James Turner. So a few of those guys were in the starting lineup for their last matchup when they were able to win, when they were defeated in their game up against Fiji. But both sides making their way out onto the park. When is New Zealand playing? They are the next game. So in about 28 minutes' time, we are going to get to see New Zealand go head-to-head with Fiji in the gold medal final. And we will then know whether Fiji, if they win, they are champions, or if the Australians would have already locked it in. But Samoa, throughout this competition, they narrowly lost to New Zealand. They were extremely unlucky, losing in about the 15th or 16th minute as New Zealand were able to run in that last minute try. But Australia, they have had a few interesting decisions or interesting results. They had some absolute slaughterings in their group stage. But now, once it got to the slightly harder sides, they did struggle to put it together, which is why Samoa need to keep that pressure on Australia and see if they can force them to make a couple errors, just like we saw in the last game up against Fiji. In fact, about 75% of Fiji's tries came from mistakes from Australia. But now Australia, they will be kicking off this one for the third place final. Will be Dietrich Roach. Does look like he's going to be in charge. I thought New Zealand beat Samoa, says Hanoi. They did indeed. So it does mean that Samoa, they are playing off for third. And yeah, they did, says Hanoi. They certainly did. But now Dietrich Roach kicks us off for the bronze medal final. It's gone high, and it hasn't been lined up by Milani Matavao, but it sits up for Va'a Pilomaliko, currently tied for the leading try scorers in the competition. It's actually the Argentine, Udashuk, who is up there with him currently. Yuna Sioni runs hard. Now back across Va'a Pilomaliko, gives it to Milani Matavao on their own 22 here for Samoa. Skip pass goes out to Letufia. Nice run. He's almost gone directly backwards almost for that run. Now, nice step from Apilo Maliko. Breaks one tackle, breaks another. Maurice Longbottom's just getting fended in the face as he then wrestles the man to the ground. Now, nice attack. Starting to open up for the Samoans in Saturday Rugby All Blacks versus Argentina. Yes, it certainly is. 7:05 p.m. New Zealand time is when that one has taken place. Now back across. Still 1 minute through this contest. Sioni, awkward pass on the inside. It's a knock-on from Va'a Pilomaliko. Now, it's very risky going for offloads when you're about to go into touch. We saw that in the last games, that it can end up with an interception and an interception try. I really hope Samoa win. It would be nice for them to get a medal, says Novmum. I guess it would add more suspense into that final match as well with New Zealand and Fiji. As Fiji, if they won that, they would go on to win the whole competition. And if Fiji finish second, it does actually mean that South Africa win the 2022 series. Now, scrum has gone down for the Aussies. Nice pass. No, that was a shocker, in fact. Started looking like it was going to be linking up nice, but then Josh Turner just threw the ball away. It's going back for the initial knock-on/4 pass, and it is going to be Samoa's scrum feed now. So a relatively even matchup. We haven't seen Samoa inside of Australia's half yet, though, which I think is when we're going to see some real damage being made. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be back for the final in a very short moment, only less than half an hour away. We have got the Oz wins this game. Do they win the whole series? They do indeed. So that is exactly what Australia will be wanting. Whereas if they lose, there's still a chance for Fiji and South Africa to be able to go on and get the victory. Now we'll be running off the back here. Letofea goes off to Malani Matavao, the man who I thought was going to be injured. A great run there from Samoa. A bit of a hurdle attempt there. And he doesn't need to go anywhere near the defense here. He's just gone straight through and scores the try. Brilliant try for Fiji. I believe there was Owen Nui who was testing out the legs. He tried to leapfrog someone, but Australia weren't even close enough to be able to get him. He runs hard. Thought he was going to get ankle tapped by Josh Turner. It was an extra bit of an acceleration, kicked it in the guts, and then continued driving all the way to the try liner. And also we have got Go Australia. So here's a read, although it is the try to Samoa. I did mention before this match got underway, Samoa have lost their last 5 matches up against the Australians. Could this be the turning point for Samoa to build more momentum heading into Cape Town? But Nui gets the try, and it is going to be now 3.5 minutes down, 7-0 in favour of Samoa. Henry Hutchison ready to receive this one. Malani Matavao about to kick it off. I was going to say, you got to strategically kick it straight into the sun, make it hard for the Australians. Didn't quite line it up. It almost sits up for Unasioni. Just keeps it in the field of play. Malana Matavao now in the midfield. Goes one more off to Steve Onisai. Finds the offload to Matavao. Nui asked for it because he did want to try and pierce that gap, and he's almost been able to do just that as well. For the second time, the ball bounces out the side. Maurice Longbottom able to jump on it. Now gives it off to Henry Hutchison. He's going to be trying to get on the outside of Malani Matavao, but nicely done by the Samoan defence to cut him off, not allow that gap to open up. Now ball out on the outside to Dietrich Roach. He's got Corey Toll on the inside, and he's got it to him, and that will now be the try back for the Australians. An instant response after the last try that we did see, but Corey Toll, he has scored 5 tries in this competition, trying to catch up with Pilo Maliko and Usachuk of Argentina. 2.5 minutes down now, or 2.5 minutes left, I should say, in this first half. But Dietrich Roach, this was the perfect offload. He lured in 2 defenders, found the pass to Corey Toll. All he needed to do was catch the ball, and he was able to do that very comfortably. Knows where the try line is. He scores plenty of them for Australia, and the kick straight in front has gone over. Now making the score 7-all between these two sides. So Argentina, they were able to get themselves in the end 5th place up against the Kenyans. We have already seen also 9th place was France and 13th place was South Africa. Now these two sides playing off for 3rd and 4th. Someone's getting a bronze. The other team will be missing out going into the shade. Nicely taken by Josh Turner. Now it's a bit loose. Hutchison gets on it though. Trying to get the turnover, or will be for not supporting his body weight against the Samoan. Now Dietrich Roach receives it 40 metres out. Back across field to Maurice Longbottom. Like I mentioned, didn't really get too many starts throughout this competition. Dietrich Roach goes across to Corey Toll. Cannot afford to give that man space because he's got great acceleration. He's broken through one. He tried to find the offload. But Va'apilo Maliko, the ref says play on. The ball was dropped and fumbled. But Henry Patterson, right place, right time, and has been able to pick it up for the Australians. And that is going to be the try for the Aussies, and it is straight out in front, so that will be another guaranteed 7. Now, Corey Toll, it initially was knocked out of his hands by Va'apilo Maliko. I'm wondering whether or not was it a knock-on. Corey Toll to get tackled initially. We're going to get to see a replay of this. Slapped out of his hands. Okay, so it was the defender's pressure. Was there a knock on? It could have been a no knock on, says Hanoi. And go Australia, says Reed as well. So Australia now 14 points to 7, still 30 seconds left in this first half. Should mention the next match that is taking place is New Zealand versus Fiji. That's the gold medal final, and that one will be kicking off at 12:28 p.m. New Zealand time. Australia must win this game to claim the 2022 World Series title, and they are now 7 points ahead with 14 seconds left in the half. Goes up, Milani Mataval takes it nicely, tried to slap it out, was Nick Maloof. Now, if he made contact with the man, that is an automatic yellow card with the new rulings. But luckily for him, did only slap the ball. Milani Mataval, 22 metres out from their own line here. Samoa, we just heard the siren sound. It's a good shot in the midsection. Now, nice offload on his side. He's got nowhere to go. A lot of pressure here on Samoa. The no-look pass off to Va'apilomaleko. Now the space starts to open up on the outside here, though. And it's going to be Nui. Tries to break on the outside. Round Maurice Longbottom. It's a penalty to Australia. And Maurice Longbottom takes the quick tap. This could be a dangerous moment here for Australia. Definitely if they can get the passing right. Lawson. In fact, no, sorry. It's Nick Maloof. It's been stripped by Samoa. Now Latufea finds the offload he wanted. Nui passes back to Mataval. Neither of these sides want this half to end. It almost sits up for Josh Turner. It sits up now for his brother. But they will be going back for the initial knock-on, and that will be halftime now. 14 points to 7 is what the score sits at halftime. So Samoa down by the 7 points. They'd still definitely love to be able to get themselves over the line here, though. And all they need is one quick try in the second half to make it happen. Corey Toole still out there on the park. I believe Josh Turner is still out there as well. So I'm not too sure who has actually gone off so that they could make the sub of James Turner. Maybe, at a guess, maybe Henry Hutchinson, I would say, has maybe made his way off. There were a lot of maybes in that sentence, as I'm not 100% sure. But carry so far, we've seen 17 from Samoa, 1 error from them, 2 from the Aussies, 6 offloads from Samoa, but they just haven't quite been able to get that momentum going. Other than the one try that they've got, they have not actually made their way into the Australian half. At halftime, interestingly enough, Samoa has made 1 tackle, 1 missed tackle, and everything else on the board, they had exactly 1 in the category as well. The Australian coach firing up the boys now because they want to be able to get themselves the series win, get themselves 1 turnover there for Samoa. 4 missed tackles from Australia is promising for the Samoan, and Brian Lima knows it, which is why he's telling his boys, go out there, put everything into it. You've got 7 minutes, and then you get a couple weeks off, but then you head into Cape Town. Right. Looks like, that doesn't look too good for Darren Adonis. He's actually wearing a neck brace. Now, we remember that he went off in a game for South Africa a little bit earlier on in the tournament, so I'm a bit concerned that he's still got that neck brace on, possibly has a sprained neck or something along those lines, hence why he was taken off on a stretcher, but only 20 minutes away from New Zealand versus Fiji. Gold medal matchup. Going to be epic to see who gets the win there. And also, we've still got 7 minutes left of this one, but Zane Davis looks like he's in good spirits, just hoping that there is a chance that South Africa have a chance of being able to take out the World Series 2022 title. Milani Mataval kicks us off for the second half now. And Maloof unable to take it comfortably. Josh Turner fighting for it. It's going to be bouncing up for Milani Mataval. Doesn't get that pass away, though, and it is a knock-on against Samoa. And just delayed the pass ever so slightly, which did cause Steve on his side to already be in front. Had to try and regather it from behind him, which is always going to be a very tricky task. Australia, though, 7 points advantage, 6.5 minutes left. For them, that's going to feel like an eternity, definitely if they don't get themselves an early try in this half. Samoa, they're one of those sides. Va'apilomaleko, all he needs is half an inch and half a second, and he'll be able to get himself on the try scorer sheet once again, because he'd love that first place. That's going to be the penalty, though, in favour of Australia. They take the quick tap this time. Now, Dietrich Roach, he's put that one down, has been ruled as going backwards. A lot of pressure there from Steve Onisai. There's a veteran move there from Dietrich Roach, though. He knew that Steve Onisai wasn't going to be able to roll away in time, so does manage to get the penalty. That ball sits up for Nick Maloof. Still on the 22, Sione rips him down. It's another penalty. I believe that was side entry against Volvos Afasua. Now back across Maurice Longbottom. Goes to Turner. Trying to step his way through. The last 5 penalties have all been against Samoa in the second half. Or 3 of which have been in the second half, sorry. The other 2 at the end of the first. Now Maloof, inside ball to Henry Hutchison. So he wasn't the man who got replaced by the winger Turner. Now Dietrich Roach. One more to Josh Turner. Sees James on his outside. Finds him. Goes back on the inside to Josh. Now that's better from Volvos Afasua. He's not supporting your body weight when you won the ball. That was unfortunate. I thought he actually had that one. Now 6 penalties have all been against Samoa in a row. Maloof tries to find Henry Hutchinson. Inside ball off to Patterson. Good work from Samoa. Is that the turnover? No, it's another penalty against Samoa. And now they're starting to get frustrated with the ref. All right. Australia slowing this one down. 7 penalties, all against Samoa. A card may not be too far away from being shown. I think the coach will consider making a couple changes soon. I think you need Paul Scanlon out there, and also Opitai may be able to be the difference makers. Josh Turner now, though, running nicely to Dietrich Roach, left side of the field. Dietrich Roach goes through, and it's going to be the try for Australia. They've got themselves another one. And also, is that Brian Lima? It is indeed the chiropractor, as he was known back in his day. He's got a lot of experience in Union and the Seven side of things. And he is now coaching Samoa, and he seems to be doing wonders for the Samoan team. So they have well and truly improved since before we saw them make their way back into the World Sevens Series. But Afasua just missing that tackle, unable to grab the shorts. And he knew straight away, as soon as you miss a tackle in sevens, the opposition is going to be able to run themselves in the try. Did they just say Dietrich Roach is 21? If they did, he has got such a bright future. He's leading the series points. Surely he's not 21. I'm going to have to look him up. Dietrich Roach. Here we go. Dietrich Roach. Now, he is 21. That's insane. He's got like a good 10 years left in him for the Aussies. Malani Mataval now got this one. Samoa need the try right now if they want a chance of being able to win it. And now it looks like Paul Scanlon running down the wing. In fact, it's going to be instead Steve Onisai or Dietrich Roach taking a big bit of contact there, though. It's not the kind of hit you want to be taking as a 21-year-old, or else you might only play till you're 25. Now, nice run from Scanlon. Paul Scanlon going forward. Finds the offload up to Pilomaliko. One-on-one with Josh Turner. In fact, that was James Turner. He's got his hands on the ball. Doesn't give away the penalty. Falaniko now across to Scanlon. Nice step. They have been shutting him down very well, and Australia have been making their tackles, which is an important factor in the second half. Now, big wide pass from Valvasa Afasua. Malani Mataval. Standing stagnant on the halfway line. Beautiful seller to dummy. Finds the offload to Sione. He's going to be shut down. This cover defense from Maurice Longbottom. It's been great. It's a cross kick from Malani Mataval. He decided rather than trying to pass it, I'll just boot it over there. Now Steve Onisai. One more pass. Valvasa. Oh, no, it's going to be actually Apelo Maliko who's put that ball down. He did decide to go straight over the top of Dietrich Roach. There is a player who is down, and it doesn't look too flash for him at the moment, the number 12, Paul Scanlon. Steve Onisai. Oh, yeah, no, he fell into the tackle. That was a big shot. That's twice in a row that Dietrich Roach has got his head on the wrong side and has paid for it. But he did enough to make Apelo Maliko drop the ball, which is a bit of a bonus. You have to say, if Australia win, they claim the World Series 2022 title. That is a message that keeps on popping up in the corner. South Africa, if Samoa win, they still actually have half a chance of being able to claim it. Angelo Davis looking very happy at the moment, alongside the rest of the South African players. Even the man with the neck brace is looking quite happy. I thought he was going to grab the guy with the neck brace neck there, but he did reach over and give Angelo Davids a pat on the head. Now, Dietrich Roach, he's been taken off the field. The coach has decided we don't want you taking any more heavy contact before Cape Town. Maurice Longbottom goes across to Matthew Gonzalez. Now Corey Toole. Folaneko rips him to the ground there. And Samoa trying to put the pressure on in the breakdown. Matthew Gonzalez goes back to Luciano Gonzalez. No, sorry, that is the Argentine. It was Matt Gonzalez. Henry Patterson goes down, the ball almost available out the back. Sione tries to hold up Nathan Lawson. Good work in the breakdown from Samoa. They win the penalty. Right, they need a try and they need it now. Sione runs hard at the line. He lures in two defenders in Patterson and Maloof, who's got straight back over the ball. And Australia get themselves another penalty. Nick Maloof, he initially gave away the penalty in the breakdown for not releasing, but then made his way back round, went back the 10 metres. And, the coach, that wasn't him trying to touch his toes. That was telling Australia to kick it for touch here. Use up a bit more time on the clock. And now 40 seconds left. Australia edging closer and closer to putting their names in the history books for 2022, being the champs. Maurice Longbottom's looking for the ball. Time has been turned off because they couldn't find one. Time is back on. 30 seconds on the clock, and Samoa need to score instantly. So they need to win this line out. Maurice Longbottom, the veteran of the game, though, knows that he's got 10 or so seconds before he has to throw it. Taken by Maloof, goes across to Maurice Longbottom now. Gonzalez, one more on the outside to Corey Toole. Sold the dummy as if he was going to kick it. Oh, he set up his teammate, though. And it's going to be going back for an offside penalty against Samoa. So they have given away a good 10 penalties throughout this match. The siren will sound, and Australia have just realised what that means. They are now 2022 champions, the Aussies. And now they build their dream of winning the Cape Town Sevens World Cup as well. That is going to be 21 points to 7. Like they're saying, Dietrich Roach wasn't even born the last time Australia have won a Sevens series. And now they continue their winning streak up against the Samoans, who have made it far, but they once again find themselves finishing in fourth. But I do thank you all very much for being here. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We have got our next live stream starting in only about 7 minutes' time. That will be a massive clash between Fiji and also the New Zealanders. But thank you all very much for being here. If you did enjoy, like I mentioned, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Check out the Kiwi Lad Sport, which is that pinned comment there where we do post plenty more videos and live streams. They are also in the sport category, I guess, hence the name. And there's a few other sports other than rugby and cricket. But thank you all very much. I will see you all